Greetings, movie buffs. I have just got back from seeing Suicide Squad. And, okay, so first part of this movie, or first part of this video, guys, is going to be spoiler free, or try to be spoiler free. Second part will contain spoilers. And I will splash a spoiler flash on the screen. A warning, just so you know when to turn the video off. So, let's just get straight into it, guys. Suicide Squad. After seeing the trailer for this, I was amped. I was pumped. And then I heard the critics were bagging it. And I thought, meh, okay, that's fine. Critics have bagged films in the past and I loved them. So, no biggie. Then I went and saw it. And the first half of this movie was great. It was really good. Backstory was great. You find out all about their backstories and who they are as people and whatnot. Except for Croc, he's sort of, well, they just sort of skim over him. And you find out all these backstories and everything like that. And you get to meet all the casts and it was great. And then about halfway through it starts to stale or stall. And then the last half of the movie it nosedives. Which is ironic because that's when most of the action is. And, well, the fighting scenes anyway. And to be honest, you're kind of sitting there thinking like, is this it? Is this... Like, keeping in mind that this movie is going up against Avengers. This is Warner Brothers' Avengers movie. And I'll tell you now, it's got a lot of work to do. And I'm not just saying that and jumping on the hate bandwagon. Whether or not to go see this movie, yes, go see it. It is worthwhile watching. Especially if you're only going to pay $10 or whatever it is for a movie ticket. But, that said, don't get your expectations high. The soundtrack for this movie is kick-ass. The music is amazing. Nailed it. But the action scenes after the halfway mark really do get stale and boring and kind of monotonous, and it turns into something that we've all seen 1,000 times. The start of it was great. It was unique, Harley Quinn is nuts. Deadshot is an amazing shot. Well, you don't find out much about Pyro in the first half, but yeah. And it was all great. It was set up, Rick Flag, even though he's a bit whipped and cuckold as a character, he's still, a bit of a badass. And you're just like, oh. And then it just gets to the halfway mark and it just goes downhill badly. The action scenes are monotonous, it's repetitive, it is something that we've seen 1,000 times. The special effects are good in the fact that they can show you what they can do, but the design of the special effects, and I'm talking about the end sequence here, it really is like, what? Like, yeah. That'll be in the spoiler section. We'll talk about that there. But yeah, so basically, guys, look, apart from that, Amanda Walsh's character is amazing. She has done a really, really good. She is completely believable as this badass military girl or leader who basically wants to try and save the world by building this Project X team. So she's completely great, terrific. Deadshot is amazing. A bit of a twisted soul, but great. Great shot, great, straight from what you'd expect from Floyd Lawton, so great. Harley Quinn is another good character. She does steal the show a little bit with her antics and being a little bit zangy. But, yeah, she's still fine too. Captain Boomerang is an absolute waste of time. I don't even know why he was in this film, to be honest. He has one important role where he uses his boomerang as a camera, and it shows people what the boomerang sees like as a fact it's got like a camera on one of them or something, and that was it. That's the only use for him, really. Slipknot is a waste of character. Pyro was good. I liked Pyro's character. He had a lot of depth, and I liked his progression arc. And Croc was okay. Wasn't exactly a waste, but wasn't exactly home hitting it either. Katana is good as a character. She's okay. Not great, not excellent, not bad. And Rick Flag is great, except for the fact that he's whipped and he's a cuckold and completely led around by, yeah, someone else. I won't say who because of spoilers. Apart from that, guys, like I said, music was great. Special effects as to what they can do is amazing. However, the design of the special effects leaves a lot to be desired. And it just generally gets a little monotonous and boring. And at the end of the movie, I was kind of expecting more. The Joker's character was amazing. I thought he did a really, really good job. Definitely completely believable as this wacko sort of Joker guy. Definitely, that is definitely believable. And Harley Quinn, obviously, I've been his counterpart, or Puddin's counterpart. So basically, without going into spoilers, Amanda Wallace puts a team together to go through and to lead, to basically be this Earth's last resort, to fight metahumans. Their team go on a mission, all hell breaks loose, they go up against this enemy, and basically they're there to save the day. Now, the enemy are completely useless. They are basically in numbers, and after about 3 or 4 shots, they're dead. These are supposedly the badasses of the universe, or this amazing army force, and they really are quite dispensed of rather easily, unbelievably so. Even Captain Boomerang, who spends most of his time sitting back having a beer and watching everybody else fight, manages to take 2 of them out with nothing more than a boomerang. Oh, and don't even get me started on the Aussie stereotype. I just found it completely grating. And I'm sorry, but yeah, no, you got that completely wrong, and that was so stereotypical. But anyway, and basically, yeah, the enemy is just, they're nothing. The baddest enemies are the bosses, so to speak. I won't go into details, spoiler section for that. I'll talk about that there. Basically, yeah, it's just, the first half of it was great. Up to the first half of it was great. It stalls in the second half, and it really does take that nosedive after that point. Which is sad. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't go and see it. Definitely go and see the movie. It's definitely something you can cross off your bucket list. Especially if you're only going to pay $10. It's still only $5 per hour for entertainment. It's still good value for that. Just don't get your hopes up, guys. It's not going to be a big box office buster. Like, for example, if I had a choice between this and Star Trek, I would go and see Star Trek again, because Star Trek was the far better movie. Apart from that, look, obviously it is their first attempt at a superhero mashup. There are a couple of cameos in there. I'll talk in the spoiler section. I don't want to ruin that. Obviously we know Batman is in it from the trailer. His part is minor, but important, so that was kind of good. And there is a during credits scene with Batman and somebody else. I won't go into details because that's spoiler territory. So definitely stick through for the credits. As far as I know, there's nothing after the credits. I did check, there was nothing listed, so I didn't bother hanging around. And I sort of did have to run off to work because I already started half an hour later just so I could go and see this movie. Apart from that, guys, look, we are going to basically break into the spoiler section. This is going to be a real quick review because, to be honest, I'm going to treat this review like the movie. There is really no substance. It is really a little bit disappointing, considering the fact that the trailer was so badass, and all the action that you see in the trailer is basically the action scene in the movie, and that's about it. So yeah, they basically put all the action scenes in the movie, put it in the trailer, and that was it, which is, I suppose, what they're supposed to do, I suppose, but it kind of left a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. So guys, look, that's it for the spoiler section, spoiler-free section. Out of 10, definitely I'll give this movie probably a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think it's as bad as the critics were saying, but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with it. Would I go and see it? Yeah, I would go and see it once if you haven't seen it. Like I said, to cross it off your bucket list. However, as to go and see it again, no, probably not. I would much rather spend my $10 and go and see Star Trek again. That was the far better film for me personally. And comparing this to like Batman vs Superman, I actually think this movie was worse than that. And I wasn't a real big fan of Batman vs Superman either. That was an okay movie, but this is it's worse than that. So if you didn't like Batman vs Superman, chances are you mightn't like this much either. But obviously, check it out in the comment section below. Let us know what you think after you've seen it. Just try and keep in mind the fact that in the comments, not everybody's going to have seen it, so please don't give away spoilers. Apart from that, guys, like I said, I'm going to break now for the spoiler section, where we're going to sort of break down the storyline. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, please turn off now. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe. If you like the video, please smack a like on it, guys. And if you're new, and yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to hit us up in the comment section below. I'll break for the 5 seconds now and let you guys turn off. Apart from that, enjoy yourselves and have a great movie. So if you're still here, spoiler section. Okay. So basically what's happening is that this starts up is that you find all the backstories. You find all the Harley Quinns, the Jokers. Well, you don't really know about the Jokers, but Deadshots and all those sort of backstories and histories and stuff like that. Family ties and stuff. Amanda Wallace captures them using Batman's help, or mostly Batman's help, and basically puts them all in this prison in, I think it was New Orleans. Now, the Joker's part in this whole movie is basically running around the town, tearing us the town apart, trying to get Harley Quinn back. That is his role. So he's not a bad guy per se. He's just obviously there just to try and get his Peaches back or his girl back. And obviously she's forced to help because of this bomb that they've stuck in their neck. Now, the bad people in the film, or the bad boss, is actually the Enchantress. She is actually the villain. She sneaks away from Rick Flag. Well, doesn't sneak away from Rick Flag. I suppose she does. Or she teleports off one night. Basically frees her brother from his prison, from his jar. Gives him a host. And then basically boots it back to Rick Flag's building or bed, and then basically before she does that though, she says to her brother, I'm going to teach these humans a lesson. They love their machines. I'm going to build a machine that's going to kill them all. So while he's running around building up his strength, the brother that is, the Enchantress is basically planning this all out. She goes back to Rick Flag, obviously in the hotel room. And then a couple of days later, she basically breaks free of Rick Flag and Amanda Wallace. Now, Amanda Wallace does have her heart, so she supposedly can control her. But by controlling, she means that she can repeatedly stab it and kill her. The problem is that the Enchantress and her brother gives Enchantress some of his energy to protect her, so that Amanda Wallace repeatedly stabbing the heart doesn't do shit, doesn't kill her, because the energy is protecting her, and then she's free to sort of build this device, while the rest of the Suicide Squad obviously go and try and get Wallace out of this building, not knowing who it is all along. They think it's just some high VIP, and they don't know it's Wallace. So the Enchantress and the brother are obviously building this device, causing havoc on this town, or this city. And then obviously the Suicide Squad's catching Wallace, or trying to get Wallace out. The Wallace ends up getting out. The Suicide Squad end up finding out it's Wallace when she walks out, and they're like, "Oh, great, terrific! We just risked our ass to save you, and you're the one that's been pulling our strings." So they get her on a helicopter, and then Enchantress drops or brings the helicopter down, or the brother actually brings the helicopter down. Drops the helicopter and then basically kidnaps Wallace, and then starts probing her mind to basically find all these secret bases, so that this machine that the Enchantress is building can then go through and basically wipe out humanity and all these secret military bases and everything like that. Eventually Enchantress gets her heart, so she's completely free from Wallace. And basically then it's up to the Suicide Squad to basically, well, they basically, by this point, say, fuck this. You know, they've been lied to from the start. They get told that that this is a rescue mission and that they're fighting under terrorists or something along those lines. They end up finding that it's not terrorists, it's actually fucking metahumans. They crack the shits because obviously, hey, they're being lied to and everything like that. And basically Floyd or Deadshot turns around and says, well, look, you know, you can blow my head off if you want with the device. I'm going to go and get a drink. And the rest of the Suicide Squad basically shrugs and goes and joins Deadshot. To which Rick Flag basically says, oh, fuck it, and he basically goes and joins them and explains the story. This is because Deadshot actually found Amanda Waller's book or binder, which had all the information regarding the Suicide Team, and he realizes that Rick Flag was sleeping with the Enchantress or the human counterpart, but that's the whole metahuman thing, and he just gets shitty because he got lied to by Wallace. Eventually, Flag says this: look, yeah, obviously, did you get up to the part where you see that I've been sleeping with her? And he goes, yeah, I saw that. And Flag says, well, basically, she's going to wipe out the Earth and kill everybody. And then everybody says, well, Suicide Squad basically turns around and says, well, shit, I've got nothing else better to do, so I'm going to go and help him, I suppose. And they go off and to stop the Enchantress. Croc's part was kind of small in this. He does have some fighting scenes in him, obviously great. His main part in this movie is basically to go into the sewers at the end and to plant the bomb, or to try and help plant the bomb. And they end up basically blowing up her brother or dropping him into the sewer. That was a little bit hard to work out because of what was going on. I'm not sure if he actually died or if they just dropped him into the water. Or dropped him into this tunnel sort of like thing. But they end up getting rid of him, and then they focus their attention on the Enchantress. It's very corny, the whole movie. You get to see Pyro being fully on flames, and he's basically like a bone skeleton of flames, which I thought was a little bit, really. Croc's scene where he goes in the sewer is just downright cringy. He sort of runs in there like on all fours, like it's a man crocodile thing. I thought everybody else thought that was kind of funny too, or cringy, because everybody sort of croaked at that point and went, oh god. So there's a lot of cringe in it. There's a lot of stereotyping, and it's very, very, it's very predictable. Which is kind of a sad. But like I said, guys, look, I'm not saying don't go and see the movie. I'm just saying that, for a movie that had such a big trailer and that everybody was so pumped to go and see, it was kind of disappointing, and I was a little bit disappointed in it. But look, this is where I'm going to leave this, guys. Look, obviously, let us know what you think in the comment section below. The movie itself was really unimpressionable. I was not really impressed with it that much. But look, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please slap a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, then please welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you next time we do a movie review or a breakdown. Apart from that, have a great night, enjoy yourselves, and enjoy the movies.